Responsibility. Wake up call number 9. We're going to be talking about debt. Won't take long, just a few minutes. Give me a couple minutes here. My goal is to wake you up about our debt. Let's start with a simple scenario. I am not a financial advisor, by the way. I have not got a license or am qualified to give you advice, but I am qualified to wake you up. So please give me a few minutes here. A simple scenario, you need $100, okay? You need to buy a speaker for your stereo. You go to your buddy and you say, hey, I need $100. You can give me $100? And your buddy says, yeah, sure, I'm going to charge you 25% though. Oh, really? Yeah, 25%. That's what I want. So, okay. So you're going to charge me $25 to borrow $100 for a year. That's right. Okay. Let's do it. Okay, so you get your $100, you spend it immediately. Now, you don't have that $100 anymore, but now you do, at the end of the year, owe $25. And let's say that you have saved up that $25 and pay your buddy. And all is going well. Your buddy's happy getting the $25. However, he didn't get his $100 back. He said, where's the $100? You say, well, I already spent that, and I need you to let this roll. Let it roll another year, and I'll give you another $25. And the buddy says, okay, all right, go ahead and do it. So this year 2, you pay him another $25. Now you paid him a total of $50. You still haven't paid him his $100, and you still don't have it. Okay, so you want it rolling again. So he agrees. Okay, so now you're paying him $75. You're 3 years into this $100 loan. You paid him $75, and you still haven't paid him that $100, and you still don't have $100 to pay him. But he's okay. He'll let it go for one more year. So here's the 4th year. Now you paid him another $25. You paid him a total of $100. You still haven't paid him his $100 back because you don't have it. All you're able to do is get the $25. Okay, well, that's a real extremely simple example, but you get the idea. What was the key here? Well, there's a couple interesting points. One is you did pay the interest. That was the good part. Because if you hadn't paid the interest, you'd be owing $200. But now, since you paid the interest, you owe them $100, which is the amount of the original loan. So you've done kind of good, but you still haven't paid him back. So you still got a problem, don't you? All right, so you get the idea. Now let's turn from this example to the bigger example, the one that we're here to talk about, the U.S. national debt. We borrowed $28 trillion. And just like your $100, we can't pay that back because we don't have it. We just flat out don't have it. But we do pay interest on that debt. This year so far, it's not totally complete to 1 October yet, but so far this year we have a interest accumulated of $0.4 trillion. That's at 404-478-763-532.99. That's $0.4 trillion. That's interest on the debt that we cannot pay back. Now, just like in your example, you paid that $25 every year, didn't you? Okay, well, we have to do this also. We have to pay that $0.4. The problem is we don't really have the $0.4, so we have to borrow more money, but that's beside the point. But we still have to pay it back. If we don't, we're a bankrupt nation. Okay, but let's look at this just a little bit closer here. Let's take a look at the interest rate that drives the $0.4 trillion. We're paying $0.4 trillion on $28 trillion. That interest rate is 1.4%. 1.4% of 28 trillion is 0.4 trillion. Okay? So that drives our our annual interest of 0.4 trillion payment. Now here's the point. If that interest rate were to go to 25%, just like you were paying on your $100, then instead of paying 0.4 every year, we would be forced to pay $7.1 trillion a year. $7.1 trillion a year. We could not afford that. We would be out of business. So what's the deal? Well, the difference between 1.4 and 25%, that's a function of the Fed. The Fed keeps this low. It keeps this low so we can buy houses. It keeps this low we can buy cars. It keeps this low that we can do a lot of things, including finance our country at 0.4. If the Fed allows that interest to go higher, heaven forbid that it gets to 25%, because we'd be out of business. So they keep fighting to keep it as low as possible. But my point is that if it were to get even to 5%, we'd still be out of business. It is essential that interest rate remain low because we've been so irresponsible and we have such a large debt that we can barely pay the interest on that debt at 1.4. If it went to 5, 6, 7, 8, it's time to close up shop and go home. Wake up, America. Wake up. Let me show you what happened last week. Last week in the House of Representatives, there was a vote. 220 Democrats voted against 212 Republicans, party line. And they passed a $3.5 trillion budget and a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. And that vote allows the Democrats to write and approve a massive spending package without Republicans and puts the Senate-passed infrastructure plan on a path to final passage in the House. That's another $4.5 trillion onto the irresponsible number we just talked about. Are we managing our government, or are we out of control? I ask you. The last thing we're going to do, and I want you to look real close at this is the debt clock. I want you to look at it. Look at that debt. That's going up, folks. That's going up every second. Every second. It's getting higher and higher and higher. Our interest rates down here, that 0.404, it's getting higher and higher based on the debt that's getting higher. That's $86,000 per citizen, $228,000 for taxpayer. That money just left your pocket and is now gone. Your children and their children and their children will not be able to pay the amount of debt that we're accumulating. So I say one more time, wake up, America. Please, wake up.